We condemn in the strongest possible terms this egregious display of hatred, bigotry, and violence on many sides. That the hate and the division must stop, and must stop right now. I'm gonna let it shine, oh, in Charlottesville. I'm gonna let it shine, oh, in Charlottesville.
Anytime, anywhere, award-winning coverage you can count on. This is ABC 13 News.
We begin tonight in the Breaking News Center with chaos in Charlottesville. Right now, one person is dead and more than 24 others injured after that incident you saw. The governor calling for a state of emergency.
And now more developing news out of Charlottesville right now after state police helicopter went down tonight. ABC 13 is on top of this breaking news story with team coverage for you on this day of tragedy that's so close to home. We've got every angle covered.
ABC 13's Marissa Parra is live at the scene of where that car crash happened. But first, let's get to Whitney Burney. She was at the scene of where that helicopter has gone down. Whitney?
Mark, that's right. We're here on, we're near Birdwood Golf Course in Charlottesville, and we were told that there was a helicopter crash over back here. Now, we spoke to a couple of neighbors who say that they heard a loud crash. They came outside and saw smoke billowing in the air. You can see Virginia State Police is on the scene. Albemarle County Police is on the scene. We're still working to confirm details, but we do know at this point that the FSA is investigating this crash. Like we said, police have just gotten here. This is a really, really fresh scene, but this is all we know at this point.
And thank you so much, Whitney. And she will have more coverage on that in just a few minutes. And now we want to go live to ABC 13's Marissa Parra. She is live from the scene of where that car plowed into a group of people.
That's right. Marissa, what's the very latest? Fill us in.
Well, Mark and Carrie, right now we are on the downtown mall in Charlottesville. You can see the police are lined up right behind us here. We're about a block away from where that happened. I'm going to have my photographer try to zoom in. You can see, well, he says we can't see right now. There are a few articles of clothing scattered over there. We can't get beyond this barricade because they are still investigating that scene, of course. But what we know is one person is dead. At least 19 are injured. The city confirms that at least one person who was a driver is arrested. You cannot see the other two vehicles that were in this crash here, but what we understand is that it was a very different scene a couple hours ago. You're about to see video from the tragic scene on 4th and Water Street where one person died, 19 were injured. And not even a mile away, we actually stumbled upon what many are saying is the vehicle that was used in that crowd plowing. As you can see, it very closely matches the description of the vehicle we saw in the video earlier. It's not confirmed, however. You can see the vehicle there was roped off by police. There was a forensic unit out there. It had significant damage, yet there were no other cars around. So again, it's not confirmed, but it very closely matches the description of that vehicle. And again, we did learn that driver was apprehended. Within the last half hour, we spoke to a witness who says in his 30 years of living in Charlottesville, he has never seen anything quite like this.
Had sped down 4th Street into a whole group of people that were peacefully marching up the street, and apparently he just plowed at a high rate of speed towards them and then smashed into a Toyota Camry. And who then hit another car, and those two cars are still there as part of the crime scene. And then apparently then he backed up and did it again and rammed into some more people.
Now Now, this is obviously very difficult for the people around here. I've heard time and time again from people who live here saying this is tragic. This is not the Charlottesville that they know. As you can tell, the scene has quieted down a lot from the time that that video was shot 3 hours ago. But police are armored, ready to go in case tensions do flare up again. And of course, we will be live at 11 with the very latest. Carrie and Mark.
And Marissa, before you go, let me ask you this, if I can. That driver of the car who is now in police custody, was it police who actually got him out of the car, or was it people in the crowd who pulled him out? Because we know that he drove a short distance down the street there.
Well, Mark, we actually do not know that quite yet. We're still working to get those details. We heard from neighbors who were there. They saw a man running from that vehicle that was about a mile away from here. But once we have those details confirmed, we will let you know on air and online.
So thank you, live there in Charlottesville. We will get back to you a little bit later. Let's take a look at some pictures now that were captured moments after that car plowed into those people there. Those 19 people, 1 dead. Photographers were on the scene as first responders worked to make sure everyone was going to be okay. Early this morning, we were in Charlottesville as all the events were unfolding.
Clashes breaking out even before the scheduled rally for 12 p.m. ABC 13's Whitney Burney was also there and explains what both sides have to say.
By authority of the Commonwealth of Virginia, this event has been declared an unlawful assembly. You are to leave the area now, or you will be arrested.
A state of emergency.
Racists go home! It didn't matter whether it was George Washington or Robert E. Lee, or for that matter, Abraham Lincoln. You know, they were people 150 years ago.
I'm glad it's getting torn down. The Confederate War, the Confederacy, the Civil War is not something to be memorialized.
The two sides going back and forth all morning. This comes after state officials announced plans to tear down Confederate monuments in Charlottesville.
The definition of white supremacy is the definition of profit over humanity.
I think it's a historical monument and it should stay where it's at.
The protests ending before it even got started. Crowds forced to disperse 30 minutes after the rally's official start time.
What's going on here is it's atrocious.
Seen a lot of violence from both sides.
There is anti-white Christian culture.
I'm here for my ancestors. I'm here for my peers, for my family.
With messages for folks on the other side.
We need to push and resist against this right now. This wouldn't have happened a couple of years ago. This cannot be the norm.
All right, Whitney Burney reporting tonight. Both the president and the first lady are condemning the violence that broke out during that deadly white nationalist protest. Within the past few hours, President Donald Trump delivered a statement in New Jersey.
And Trump reached out asking Americans to put aside differences and unify as one country.
Above all else, we must remember this truth. No matter our color, creed, religion, or political party, we are all Americans first.
In a tweet, First Lady Melania Trump wrote, quote, "Our country encourages freedom of speech, but let's communicate without hate in our hearts. No good comes from violence." The president's statement tonight comes after his name was invoked by white supremacist David Duke. Just hours ago, Duke, who was at that rally, spoke with CNN, and he called this rally a turning point. Take a listen.
This represents a turning point for the people of this country. We are determined to take our country back. We're going to fulfill the promises of Donald Trump. That's what we believed in. That's why we voted for Donald Trump, because he said he's going to take our country back, and that's what we got to do.
Well, right now, people around the nation are trying to figure out what exactly went wrong. ABC 13 reported earlier this week that a lot of controversy surrounded the location of that rally. Just last night, as we told you at 11 o'clock, a judge ruled the rally could happen in Emancipation Park, formerly known as Lee Park. It's where the organizers had initially applied to have the permit because it's where the Robert E. Lee statue stands that the city has voted to remove. And Carrie, the city wanted the rally moved to McIntyre Park.
That's right, Mark. And here's a map to break it all down. This judge's decision goes against what the city and police wanted. Monday, they voted to have the permit rally in McIntyre Park, which you can see here. It's very isolated. It's away from downtown, but police say it was not there for safety reasons. And then on Thursday, Jason Kessler, he sued the city to have it instead in Emancipation Park, which you can see right here. That's where all that video you've been watching, a lot of that is surrounding Emancipation Park. And the judge, he did rule in his favor. Justice Park, this other park you see here on the map, that's where a permit was granted for an anti-rally.
And the mayor of Charlottesville, Mike Signer, was not happy with that judge. He took to Twitter within the past few hours to describe his distaste for that decision. He wrote, "For all watching events in crowded downtown Seaville, this is exactly why the city tried to change venue to McIntyre, but court wouldn't allow," end quote. We're also hearing from the governor, McAuliffe, tonight. In a statement, he wrote, "I am disgusted by the hatred, bigotry, and violence these protesters have brought to our state."
This is about free speech. We are simply trying to express ourselves and do a demonstration.
And that was Jason Kessler, the man who organized this Unite the Right rally. We took a closer look at his background to find out more about who he is.
Yeah, according to his website, which you're taking a live look at right now, his bio says he's a journalist, activist, and author from Charlottesville. He's also a UVA graduate who founded the Unity and Security for America organization. Now, according to Newsplex, Kessler pled guilty to a charge of assault earlier this year for punching a guy in the face. It happened while Kessler was collecting signatures for his petition to remove the vice mayor. Now, because of this rally, the University of Virginia issued a red warning on its website. That means the university will have to cancel all of the scheduled events and programming for tonight. Remember, stay with ABC 13 for continuing coverage of everything that's going on in Charlottesville. We will keep you updated on air all night long, and you can get breaking news updates anytime on our ABC 13 News app.
Chaos in Charlottesville.
We take you back live, both Marissa Parra and Whitney Burney, to bring you the very latest developments on a helicopter down and on that demonstration there in Charlottesville.
And we do have a few showers and storms across the area. We'll track those coming up next.
All right, we continue to follow some breaking news out of Charlottesville tonight, where we understand that 2 people on a state police helicopter have died in a crash there.
And our ABC 13 Whitney Burney is there. And Whitney, what can you tell us about these 2 people that are now confirmed dead?
Carrie, like we said before, I'm in Charlottesville right now. I'm over by Birdwood Golf Course, over by Route 29. Now, this is a very fresh scene. We just heard from Virginia State Police that they have confirmed 2 fatalities. 2 people are dead from that helicopter crash. Virginia State Police are here. Albemarle County Police are here. We've heard that this crash happened back in the woods over here around 4:55. They received a call and they came to investigate. They're still investigating this crash, and this is all that we know at that time, that there are 2 confirmed fatalities. Reporting in Charlottesville, Whitney Burney, ABC 13 News.
All right, appreciate it, Whitney. Stay safe out there. Outside right now on satellite and radar, we're looking at a few scattered showers across the area. You clearly can tell where there's a front back out into West Virginia as that pushes its way in. That'll gradually start to weaken or kind of diminish our storm chance tomorrow. But as for tonight, a few passing showers and thunderstorms are across the area. One down here into southern parts of Franklin County, more back up towards the north, one actually just to the north of Charlottesville right now. That's going to be the trend as we head through the rest of the evening, and also maybe perhaps a little bit of the overnight too before things will eventually start to quiet down. Mid-80s across the board right now. Clearly can tell where it has rained today. Blacksburg at 76 and Hot Springs at 72. We'll show you right now the high resolution computer model. This has a fairly good grip on where everything is at right now, and the concern is that little front comes in that we were telling you in West Virginia. As that pushes its way into the area a little bit farther, it might try and spark off 1 or 2 additional showers and storms as we head through the late evening hours of tonight. So that's why we're going to continue to at least have the chance of a few of those showers and also a few of those thunderstorms in there. After that, things will start to fade away as we head through the overnight hours of tonight. So again, now through midnight, any shower storm does have the capability of dropping heavier rainfall. I think all other modes of severe weather more than likely going to be off the table. Tomorrow morning, however, we'll start out with a blend of clouds and sunshine. Front will be hung up down to the south, so while a majority of us will be dry, we'll still have a few showers and storms developing through the afternoon, predominantly along and south of Highway 460. Then as we head into Monday, though, more rainfall will start to come up. It could be widespread rain again on the way for Monday, first day back to school, back to work. We do have a tropical wave out in the Atlantic. The good news is this more than likely will stay safely at bay and out to sea. Just be mindful if you are heading to the beach, might have a rip current or two to deal with. Tomorrow, though, dry in the morning. We'll pop some showers and storms in the afternoon. High temperatures upper 70s to the lower 80s. Lows tonight for the Blues Traveler concert, by the way. Just be mindful that you might have a passing shower or storm. They'll fade overnight. Lows tonight back in the middle 60s. Daytime high temperatures tomorrow back in towards the middle 80s. Here's a look at the next 7 days. Again, a fairly wet week ahead. Monday, a good chance of rain at 81. We'll continue to keep the chance of rain in for the next 7 days.
Back to Charlottesville.
ABC 13 takes you back live to the chaos in that city. Marissa Parra shows you what she is now seeing.
All right, we continue to follow breaking news out of Charlottesville tonight, where Governor Terry McAuliffe is expected to address the media about all of the events in Charlottesville today. We hope to bring that to you live when it happens. Right now, though, we want to go back live to Marissa Parra, who is in downtown Charlottesville.
Marissa, what are you seeing?
Well, Mark and Carrie, the situation has calmed down a lot from an hour or a couple hours ago, rather. We're at downtown Charlottesville. You can see police are at the ready just in case. This is a block away from when a vehicle had crashed into a crowd of people where one person died, at least 19 people were injured. Now, again, a vastly different situation and scene right here now. You can hear loud music is being played. We're not going to pan down over there right now because not all of them are wearing clothes, but it is peaceful situation. There are people. We're going to pan over this way. You can see people are walking around here. There's more media than there are protesters, actually. There's police, and we are going to stay on top of this situation. Dan, if you can come back around here, we're going to toss it back to you guys. But again, we'll have the very latest on air and online.
Thank you so much, Marissa. Governor Terry McAuliffe is speaking about everything that has happened today in Charlottesville.
That's right. Let's take a live look at where he is speaking to the media. There he is right now at the Albemarle office building. Let's listen in if we can.
Courageous UVA college students yesterday who last evening surrounded the statue of Thomas Jefferson to protect that statue. And I have a message to all the white supremacists and the Nazis who came into Charlottesville today. Our message is plain and simple. Go home. You are not wanted in this great Commonwealth. Shame on you. You pretend that you're patriots, that you are anything but a patriot. You want to talk about patriots, talk about Thomas Jefferson and George Washington, who brought our country together. You think about the patriots today, the young men and women who are wearing the cloth of our country. Somewhere around the globe, they are putting their life in danger. They're patriots. You are not. You came here today to hurt people. And you did hurt people. But my message is clear. We are stronger than you. You have made our Commonwealth stronger. You will not succeed. There is no place for you here. There is no place for you in America. We work here today to bring people together, to unify folks. I remind you all that we are a nation of immigrants. Unless you're Native American, the first ships that came to Jamestown, Virginia in 1607. And since that time, many people have gone.
And the governor, he declared a state of emergency earlier this morning. And again, that was him talking live. We'll be giving you updates on this throughout the afternoon, evening, and at 11 o'clock tonight as well.
That's right. We continue to follow all of the breaking news out of Charlottesville. More for you when we come back. Stay there. All right, this is some video from Simon Rader of that state police helicopter that went down with 2 people on board. State police are investigating. Nobody on the ground was injured, according to state police. That investigation is ongoing.
And you can see the smoke still coming from that forest. And we did get our reporter there right away. She will be giving a lot more updates, and these are just a few shots from both of those scenes. So we'll, of course, have more at 11 o'clock tonight. Thank you so much for joining us.
And Governor McAuliffe has declared a state of emergency for the winter storm that is dumping snow across our area right now.
The snow is continuing to form to our south and west and will continue to make its way in from North Carolina.
Valencia Jones, who's been driving around the area to see how things are looking. Valencia, where are you now?
I am still out here on Lakeside Drive just past Old Forest Road, and what else is new? It's cold, it's snowing. So I've been told that this is about 3 inches of snow right here, so I'm just going to draw a 3 right here so that you can see basically about how deep this layer of snow is out here. So, and then I'm going to also show you the roads over here right on Lakeside Drive. As you can see, we've got a car coming down the road right now, actually taking their time.
ABC 13's Karen Pinto has been tracking the storm on the south side.
Good morning, Patty. We decided to hit the road so we can monitor these conditions for you. Now, I'm sorry I'm not looking at the camera. I'm keeping my eyes on the road. I got my seatbelt on. We're in a 4-wheel drive car here. And what we're noticing most is that the snow is actually very wet. So I haven't seen a lot of black ice. It's not too slippery. I spoke with Public Works. They said they will be putting salt on all the bridges, but not the main streets yet. Now that salt is going to burn off the snow in the bridges, but on the main streets, they're just going to continue to plow.
Thank you for watching our special coverage live from Appomattox 1 year after that devastating tornado came through this area, leaving behind a lot of destruction.
To that fateful afternoon in February. Nancy Harris was driving home when the storm hit and a tree crashed into her car.
No, the tree just fell 6 more inches and I would have been dead.
A state trooper cut her out of that car and she walked away with only a back injury.
I didn't find her till a little later that my husband, he was missing and my home was gone.
Let's go live to Appomattox as we mark 1 year since a tornado devastated Evergreen.
We were able to get supplies down to the shelters and then continue to provide the supplies that they needed for recovery.
You brought water in that night.
We were here within about an hour and a half with water, blankets, supplies, whatever the first responders needed, and then we went back and working with Walmart and Appomattox were able to get the other supplies we needed.
We knew going into that particular day that it was going to be a violent day, or it had the potential to be a violent day, but we didn't think it had the potential to be an EF3 level violent day. It was a day I and the rest of our weather team will never forget. Multiple tornado warnings over multiple counties throughout the heart of Virginia.
3 people are now charged in a Lynchburg teenager's murder. That is breaking right now after the Bedford County Sheriff's Office held a news conference to update the investigation into 17-year-old Raymond Wood's death.
A lot of new information coming out this afternoon into the homicide investigation of 17-year-old Raymond Wood. What we have learned is that his death was not random and that he did not leave voluntarily, and that it was narcotics related. 3 members of the MS-13 gang have been arrested and are facing second-degree murder charges in Wood's death. We also know all 3 are undocumented illegal aliens. They are Victor Rodas, Jose Correa Ventura, and Lisandro Vasquez. Now, Ventura was arrested on Tuesday on first-degree murder charges in the death of an 18-year-old in Montgomery County, Maryland. Now, this has been nearly a week-long investigation involving multiple agencies, including the FBI and U.S. Marshals, and all stemming from a 911 call made by a passerby on Roaring Run Road in Good Monday evening.
Wood, we know this crime was not random, but why did these men kill Wood? And then are there more members of the MS-13 gang in our area? Yesterday, when we spoke with Lynchburg City Police, we were told there were no members in this city. Well, according to the release from the Bedford County Sheriff's Office, 2 men, 19-year-old Victor Rodas and 21-year-old Jose Correa Ventura, are listed as living in Lynchburg. And with Wood not leaving Lynchburg voluntarily, what does that mean happened to him? Was he possibly abducted? Still a lot of questions that are supposed to be answered and hopefully will be. The sheriff made it very clear that this investigation is still ongoing.
This weekend, Virginia Tech is reflecting on the vibrant lives of the 32 students and faculty who were tragically killed 10 years ago today.
Up for tonight's candlelight vigil, and earlier today at that commemoration, President Tim Sands and Senator Tim Kaine reflected on the moments immediately after the shooting and also the lives lost.
Ryan Christopher Clark.
Caitlin Millar Hammerin.
Like many of the people listening, Virginia Tech President Tim Sands will always remember the moment he learned 32 people lost their lives.
As a father, a university professor, and administrator, the loss that these families and this community experienced was unimaginable to me.
Halifax County officials say that they are in a waiting game. They need the water to recede before they can start the cleanup. ABC 13's Kelsey Metzger is live tonight from one of the worst hit areas. Kelsey.
Danner, we're at an intersection on Highway 58 in Riverdale. You can see that officials still have it blocked off right here for now, but that hasn't stopped folks from coming by and taking a picture to document the damage. No traffic in sight, just a lot of people taking their shot of history.
I've been going around taking photographs of South Boston over here in Riverdale, and been going to Halifax taking the pictures of the banister that has flooded.
It's a devastating outcome whenever something like this happens, and not just for the business owners directly impacted. Surrounding businesses will soak up some of the financial losses. If you walk across the bridge on Hill Matthews Highway in South Boston, you'll run right into a wall of water from the Dan River. This sign that reads, "Road subject to flooding," is like a foreshadowing of what took place over the last several hours.
Good morning. I'm Noreen Turin along with Mark Spain here at Williams Stadium at Liberty University, getting ready for commencement day with the special guest speaker, the President of the United States, Donald Trump.
While there is a lot of foot traffic out here, there is also a lot of car traffic. One of the most congested areas is actually right behind me. You can see here 460 West is pretty backed up, bumper to bumper, and it's turned into a single lane traffic right now.
Here to my right, on the corner of Wards and Harvard, we have a group of protesters who we're going to go talk to in a little bit, and we'll have an update on exactly what they're protesting.
And we are back here in Williams Stadium as those graduates are walking behind me here, pomp and circumstance. And look at this crowd that's out here today. They are expecting between 35 and 45,000 people to watch these graduates here at Liberty University.
We understand the president is getting much closer. We want to head out to Katie
ABC,
Burke.
right. Let's go out to Katie. Katie, what are you seeing from your vantage point out there?
Yes, Mark, Air Force One is on its way. It is coming in right now. We're told he will be landing in 2 minutes. 2 minutes, the president will be landing here and touching down.
He came here as a candidate back in January and talked at convocation, trying to fire up the base here to vote for him. And now we can see the President of the United States deplaning at Lynchburg Regional Airport. Good evening. It's been 10 years this week since Jerry Falwell Sr. passed away. His contributions to the area are well known. Liberty University, Thomas Road Baptist Church, and more. Tonight, in a story you will only see on ABC 13, a poignant and personal look back at the man who meant so much to this area. We are happy to be here with the Falwell children, and I've got to ask you about your father, of course. Jeannie, I'm going to start with you. Tell me a little bit about your dad. What kind of a guy was he like?
Dad was always very loving, loved to have fun, always joking with people.
He always wanted to be a yes man, always wanted to do whatever he could to, to bless us, to take care of us, to encourage us, and he did that right up until the day that he died.
I bought him a train horn for his car when he was getting older because he used to run his truck up like he was going to hit somebody and stop. But he was getting older. I was afraid he was going to really hit somebody. So we got him a train horn that has this compressor. It's so powerful. It has an air compressor to pump it up. And it would scare people to death, and he'd laugh and laugh and laugh.
I lived in good health long enough to see a half-century dream come true.
Tonight is the Dancing with the Stars finale, and we're cheering on Forest's own Rashad Jennings, one of the finalists. He and partner Emma Slater will find out in just a few hours if they are going to be the season 24 champions. ABC 13's Danner Evans is live from a watch party at Liberty University that's just getting ready to start. Danner?
Yeah, Noreen, that watch party kicks off here at the LaHaye Student Center in just about, well, it kicks off at 8:30 when the show starts, but they're going to open the doors for folks starting at 7:30. Look at this, plenty of seating in here tonight. I'm told between 500 and 600 seats for this watch party. Back there, they're getting the refreshments together for you too. This is open to the public. It's open to everyone, and there's a good reason too. We want to show Rashad Jennings our support, and that we are all behind him winning the Murrow Trophy tonight. And look at this, people are already showing up. I want to take you outside the door here, where folks are lining up. Shh, this is a sneak peek. Come on. Oh, look, the people are already signing up, and they're actually having to sign a waiver before they go in right now, because ABC News, the Dancing with the Stars production crew, is going to be taking our live feed tonight to show the entire world that we are supporting Rashad.
It didn't take long for the Atlantic Coast Pipeline to be the topic of discussion. During Ralph Northam's opening remarks, a protester came out of the crowd and spoke out against it. Ed Gillespie says he'll give it the green light, saying it will help the economy.
We've hit the bottom 10 states in economic growth during Lieutenant Governor's time in office. Got more people moving out of Virginia than into Virginia because of the lack of opportunity here.
Ralph Northam says he would only support it if it meets regulatory requirements.
I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that it's done responsibly.
For almost a third of the debate, the two talked about health care, specifically the Affordable Care Act. Northam says it's not perfect, but a full repeal would be a mistake.
No person, no family should be one illness away from financial demise or death.
Gillespie boasted about how he called for a repeal and replace in his U.S. Senate run in 2014 and has no intention of seeing Medicaid expand.
We can make health care more affordable, more accessible without the Medicaid expansion, and I think long-term that would be better for us.
Today you could hear the hammers pounding away for ABC 13's Home for Christmas build in Lynchburg.
That's right. This is what the site looked like this morning around 7 a.m. ABC 13's Dana Evans has been out there working today, and now a very different look tonight with your pink hard hat on.
Of course, I had a pink hard hat on because I was working on this house, hammering up this siding. The walls went up, the front door is up, the windows are in. We have a roof on this house, believe it or not. This all was done in the last 10 hours here on Ridge Avenue for the Habitat for Humanity Blitz build. They've actually been out here since October clearing the land, but I'll tell you what, they have done some marvelous work in the last 10 hours. And it is all for this lady right here, Darlene Tucker, who we're building the Habitat for Humanity house for you and your son. What a day this has been. What has it been like to watch it just come up from the ground up?
Overwhelming, full of excitement and a lot of energy.
Yeah, a lot of energy. Now, you're going to be bringing your 2-year-old son home for Christmas. Yes. What is the first thing that you're going to put up in your house?
Curtains. A lot of curtains.
Any minute now, our ABC 13 Home for Christmas is officially going to its new owner. ABC 13's Noreen Turin is at the site where the dedication is set to get underway. Noreen, such an exciting time for that new owner.
Oh, I can tell you it is very exciting. She told me that she could not sleep last night. She was so excited. I'm standing here with the crowd behind me because I wanted to show you all the people that turned out for this dedication. Very lively call. Yeah. Everyone in this crowd had a hand in making this dream come true for Darlene Tucker and her son. And so they all came out, and I can venture to guess that this is not all the people that took part in building this home. We're going to pan around and show you the house that has come together in just 3 weeks, a little longer. They had to put the foundation and everything, but together with a blitz build that started November 29th, this home inside and out, ready to go, along with the shrubs and the things outside, and a little special surprise for Darlene and her family inside. Take a look at this house. You remember 3 weeks ago, this was just a concrete slab, and now look at it. It is just beautiful. The homeowner is inside, Darlene Tucker, right this minute, signing the official paperwork to make this her house. This house has landscaping, they even decorated some Christmas for it, all of that in just 3 weeks. And I want to show you a very important part. Right here was a huge ditch down here, and this is where Mark Spain, Dennis Carter, and I filled in dirt. I will always remember digging the dirt and filling in this huge ditch for Darlene Tucker. Today, dozens of volunteers, just a portion of the many that worked on this house, came out for a dedication for this house and a very special milestone for Greater Lynchburg Habitat for Humanity.
It's wonderful to see all of you here. Thank you for coming to help us dedicate this house, Greater Lynchburg Habitat's 300th home.
That is indeed a milestone. Darlene Tucker got to cut the ribbon on this house, and I had the distinct honor of being able to hand her the keys to her new house